Hi, Timothy Carlson here, and today we're paying a visit to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is a media franchise that's been around for nearly 40 years now and shows no signs of letting down. We just got the new theatrical movie Mutant Mayhem a few months ago, but I thought I'd go back and revisit one of the earliest incarnations of the Turtles and the one that turned me onto the franchise. That being the original animated series that started way back in 1987, which has been given this reissue by Lionsgate on DVD. I'm going to unbox this release and I will share my opinions. Now, there have been a few releases of this show. There have been individual season releases. There was a big Turtle Van reissue that had these discs in it. And then this is basically a no swag release of those discs that were in that Turtle Van package. A little more basic and a little more affordable. So, here's our front cover. Got the series logo, the Complete Classic Series Collection. This show was on the air for nearly 10 years with episodes being produced. That's pretty remarkable for any animated series directed at children. There's the spine text, back cover. Inside this package, of course, we got our discs. Just a plain white background, disappointingly. So over here we got Season 1, which only takes up one disc. It's only 5 episodes. Season 2, which I think is like 12 or 13 episodes. That's all on one disc. Then the next few discs here, these lime green ones, are Season 3. Then again to Season 4, which is the red discs. Rest of Season 4. Then you have the start of Season 5 on the light blue discs. Rest of those. Season 6 is on the purple discs. Season 7 is on the yellow discs. And then Season 8 is on this blue discs. Season 9 is on this brown disc. And then Season 10 is on this purple disc. The last few seasons were shorter too, so they had their own discs. I'm really not a fan of this packaging, if you couldn't already tell, because this isn't really attached in here in any really secure way, and this can flap around. This can get loose. This whole piece here could come out. I'll read the description of the show as follows from the package. Experience the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles saga in this totally tubular 23-disc set of the original animated series featuring all 10 seasons in one complete cowabunga collection. From their origins on the comic book page to the depths of Dimension X and beyond, their pizza-loving, shell-busting Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo, with the guidance of their sensei, have been delighting fans for decades with their turtle power. Whether it's facing fierce enemies Krang, Shredder, and Lord Dreg, saving humanity from their extinction, or battling against life-altering mutations, the half-shell heroes are always ready for heart-stopping, time-bending, straight-out-of-the-sewer action. All 10 seasons of the classic TV series, 193 episodes, and over 3 hours of special features. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had to watch this cartoon constantly, and when there were birthdays and Christmases, I always got Ninja Turtles toys. When I was going to first grade, I had a Ninja Turtles backpack. When I was a young man, this was the show that I was obsessed with. And then, of course, in my childhood, we also got those live-action feature films, and that was pretty remarkable back in the day. I mean, looking back, the show hasn't necessarily aged the best, but for the ultimate retro nostalgia trip, I don't know if there's any better show you can go back and watch. The basic premise, of course, revolves around the turtles who are mutated when some mutagen gets into the sewer, and they go from being regular baby turtles to these humanoid turtles. And meanwhile, martial arts master Hayato Yoshi had to escape from Japan when he was disgraced by his fellow student Oroku Saki, who later became the supervillain Shredder. And Splinter, who gets mutated into a rat creature by the same mutagen, raises the turtles as his own, teaches them martial arts, and eventually they have to get out of the sewers and begin fighting evil when Shredder finally comes to America. And Shredder's not alone in his conquest. He's teamed up with the disembodied brain Krang, a creature from Dimension X, and then mutated creatures Rocksteady and Bebop, and an army of foot soldiers, rock soldiers, and plenty of other threats, many of which aren't even related to Shredder, Krang, or Dimension X. The comic book that spawned the series was a much darker take on these characters, and the cartoon made matters a little more lighthearted They wanted to make this marketable to children, even though the original comics were actually really, anything but works for children. Two major changes to the franchise that were made in this cartoon that have carried on to nearly every subsequent incarnations of the Turtle are, first of all, their love of pizza, which has become one of the hallmarks of the franchise. And then, of course, it also gave each turtle multicolored masks so you could more easily tell who was who. And of course, each turtle has their own personality quirk, which is beautifully demonstrated in the theme song. Interesting trivia, that theme song was actually co-written by Chuck Lorre. Chuck Lorre went on to create the television series 2.5 Men. So he's had a pretty noteworthy reputation in the entertainment industry for decades now. And the episodes, of course, generally revolve around some sort of plot device or MacGuffin, like the bad guys might be trying to get something so that they can re-energize the Technodrome, which is their enemy base. Sometimes there'll be like mysterious artifacts or crystals or something that they can use to try to energize it, to try to get back to the Earth's surface or try to escape from the Earth's core or Dimension X. And the Turtles have to find the best ways that they can to fight and stop these villains. I mean, the first 2 seasons of the show were pretty short, but when they got to season 3, they really started cranking up the episode count, which meant way more turtles, but of course, he did get some episodes that weren't the best and kind of came off as fillers. I guess it's kind of that way with any animated series that is on the air for nearly 10 years. Now, as a kid, I probably watched maybe the first half or so of this show. I mean, in later episodes, it got a much darker makeover, and a villain named Lord Dreg came into the mix. Lord Dreg, of course, being voiced by the late, great Tony Jay. Seems like that guy did voices on every cartoon in the 90s, and rightfully so. And by that point, of course, I'd checked out. I mean, I think I'd moved on to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers by that point. And I do have to say, the show certainly has its problems. It's repetitive at times. There's plenty of animation mistakes. There's plenty of logic mistakes. It's clear that there were a lot of different writers, and some of the writers might not have seen the work of the other writers. So for like, in season 3, for example, the Technodrome is trapped at the center of the Earth, and Shredder and Krang have to get up to the surface using these drilling modules. And the Turtles encountered them many times over many episodes, but then in a much later episode, Donatello claims he's never seen one of them before. So you kind of get an idea of what I mean there. And I mean, there have been so many releases of the show over the years. I remember when I was a little boy, Burger King did a promotion for the Ninja Turtles, and we had a VHS copy from Burger King of the episode Sky Turtles from season 3. So this has certainly been an interesting experience going back in time. And the voice acting on the show is probably one of its best traits, although it is a little inconsistent with certain actors having to fill in for others. But some of the highlights, of course, include Townsend Coleman as Michelangelo, the party-loving guy of the bunch, and Shredder is even voiced by James Avery. Avery, of course, would be known in the 90s for voicing the character of Uncle Phil on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So a very wide and interesting array of characters, voice actors, and everything in between. Again, certainly not a perfect show, certainly one that shows its age, but one I was happy to go back and revisit. Sadly, the show just doesn't really look that great on DVD. They crammed way too many episodes onto single discs, so you get compression artifacts galore in nearly every episode, and the masters themselves don't look that good to begin with. I mean, I really wish we could get this show like properly remastered and released on Blu-ray. That's maybe a bit of a pipe dream, or should I say a sewer dream, but that would be my dream right there, because the show certainly deserves better treatment than this. This is literally the discs from the old sets just repackaged and thrown in here. So it's like you get all the same bonus features that are on the existing discs as they were on individual season releases. So there are a few interesting little featurettes. They're kind of few and far between, but you might want to watch them. And some episodes are out of order because, again, they're just reissues of the older discs, so no real corrections or anything were made. Like the first season set has 5 bonus episodes from later seasons. The problem there is those episodes are on their respective season discs, so that's kind of pointless and just shows that they slapped the old discs in this case. I do love the Ninja Turtles. I love going back and revisiting this set. Just understand that, it's about as bare bones and lackluster as you can get in terms of the release. Luckily, you can get this set for fairly cheap. Like just under $50. That's not a bad deal considering you get almost 200 episodes in here. So if you are a fan of the Turtles, I would definitely recommend picking this up if you can get it for a fair price. If you're not already a fan, I don't know if this set will make you a fan, though. Are you a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Who's your favorite turtle? What's your favorite version of this story and these characters? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm TLT Carlson. I'll see you next time.